Hello, today we are going to play Star Wars Imperial Assault. Not the skirmish rules, but actually we're going to start the campaign. At the moment, and those of you who have been following my Descent playthroughs, you know that I play the Overlord and the heroes, or in this case I play the Empire and the Rebels. The first mission of the base game is called Aftermath, and it's an introductory mission. We have two heroes at the moment. Why do I have only two heroes? I only have two heroes because the other ones aren't painted yet, and I don't want to play with unpainted minis because I think it takes away from the game experience. So, the game, this particular mission is played out over 6 rounds. If you only play with two heroes, each of them gets a legendary ability, or a legendary card, which basically gives them the following ability. Oh, okay, no, he doesn't have any line of sight. But this one only, he was here, is 1, 2, 3, or actually 1, 2, so he can actually retreat. He's going to retreat. And then we have the web engineer. And that's it. He's not going to be able to do anything because he would have to unlimber. He would have to limber and then move, and he can't do that. So he's actually going to move here. This way he has line of sight to all of them. And then he cannot move. So he's got speed 2, 1, 2. Okay. So we have the Imperial officer, who is going to move here so that he can hide, and that's all he's going to do. No, he's actually going to use his ability to give orders, and he's going to tell this guy to move 1, 2, 3, or only two spaces. Oh, 2 spaces, so he's going to move here. Okay, that's the end of the Imperial officers move. So now we've got our heroes, they can go next. So Jyn Odin is going to get back, she's going to rest, and she's going to get back 4 health because she's basically managed to get back all of her endurance. 3, 4. And then she is going to attack the probe. And she does 4 points of damage, which kills the probe or destroys it. So this one's gone. And that's her last activation. And he's going to move 1, 2. And he's going to attack this stormtrooper, because if he attacks him and hits him and gets a lightning bolt symbol, he gets cleave and he can attack this guy as well. Let's hope this works out. Oh dear. All are negated. He only has 1 lightning bolt left, which he's going to use for his ability of Pierce 1, so he does 1 point of damage to this stormtrooper. And that's the end of his second activation, so everyone refreshes. The probe droid is dead. The Imperial officer is also dead. So we are just going to refresh like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to increase the round counter to 3, and we get 2 levels of threat, which we could use to bring back the Imperial officer or the probe droid. And we're going to bring back the probe droid. And we can bring it back here actually. No, we're actually going to bring it back here. So this one also is available again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who can in theory start. So we're gonna roll instead of drawing. We're going to roll on a 10-sided die. She gets a 2. And a 2 again, doesn't work, so a 7. So he gets to go last. 5 is the probe droid. Stormtrooper, this one, gets a 7 as well, it doesn't work, he gets a 4. Stormtrooper, the yellow ones, get a 1, they go first. E-Web Engineer is a 6. So this means that the Imperial officer is an 8. Got 1, 2, no, he's a 3 then. Imperial officer goes third. And the Wookiee goes last. So the Stormtroopers, these ones go first. And this one's going to move here, 1, 2, and they're just all going to try and hit the Wookiee. They have blue and green, and the Wookiee has a black die for defense. This guy goes first. Okay. 1 point of damage. This one is next. Okay, 2 points of damage. Last one. 2 points of damage. Okay, that's them. Okay, then number 2 is Jin Odin. Who's going to move? 1, 2, 3, 4. And she's going to attack this one. Oh, that wasn't good. Basically, yeah, so she gets 2, yeah, accuracy is there, but she does no damage whatsoever. That's her first activation gone. 3 is the Imperial officer, and he is going to... He can't do anything, he's just going to stand there. Four are the Stormtroopers, the white ones. This one's going to move here, and he's going to attack Jin Odin. Blue-green, and she defends with a white die. And he does 4 points of damage. This one. And she completely negates his attack. Nothing. So that's them. Now it's the probe. And the probe is going to, it flies. It's got a speed of 3. going to move here. Okay, that's them. Then we have the web engineer. He's going to attack the Wookiee, and he's focused. And he can actually, he's one of the very few Imperial figures that can attack twice on his activation. So he's going to take his first shot at the Wookiee, and since he's focused, he gets a green die, he gets a blue die, he gets a yellow and a red die. I mean, this guy is deadly. Oh my. So we have a defense of 2. So these two cancel each other out, and then he has 2 more and 2. He does 3 points of damage to the Wookiee, who then becomes focused because he took more than 3 or more in one go. And then we do the same thing again without the green die this time because he's no longer focused. Going to attack the Wookiee again. Oh my. And he does 5 points of damage. We negate only 1. But he still does 5 points of damage. The Wookiee is down to 7 health. He's no longer focused. We'll take this away. Now our Wookiee is focused. And he is going to, well, that was 6. So now it's the Wookiee's go. He's going to attack this guy. And he's got a green, a yellow and a red die. Green, yellow and red. And the E-Web engineer gets a black defense die. And we roll, not too badly actually. Oh well, we do 2 points of damage to the E-Web engineer. And we have 2, we have 2 lightning bolt symbols, one of which is pierce, so we do 1 additional point of damage to the E-Web engineer. We have +1 more, which we're going to use to cleave, and we're going to cleave against this guy, so he takes 1 more point of damage. And then we're going to do this again, only this time without the green die because we are no longer focused. And we rolled 4 points of damage +1 lightning bolt, and he negates 2 points of damage. We have pierce 1 with this lightning bolt, so we roll essentially 5 points of damage against 2, so he takes 3 hits, and the E-Web engineer is no more, which is good because this one is a really, really evil one. Well, if I say so myself. And that's the end of the Wookiee's activation, of his first activation. Next up is Jin Odin, who is going to suffer 3 endurance to move next to this 1, 2, 3, next to this terminal, and she's going to attack it with 2 green dice, and it has a defense. Oh, it actually has a health of 7 now. And it gets +1 defense because it's standing next to one of those troopers. Oh god. So it negates both. We do 1 point of damage. That was brilliant. Let's do this again. Because remember, we didn't move. We used stress or endurance to get movement points. So we get 2 activations that we can use for fighting. That one was much better. 3 points of damage -2 equals 1. Whoop, whoop. That was her second activation. The Wookiee's going to move, or he's gonna move 1, 2, 3. He's also going to attack this one. And he rolls, oh god, I roll so badly. 2 points of damage plus 1 pierce is 3, has 2 armor, so we do 1 point of damage. That was terrible. So that's the end of the round. We refresh everything. We increase our threat by 2. We now have 5 threat. It's now round 4. Or is it? Yeah, it's round 4. We can't actually win this, I'm afraid. Because if we reach round 6, it automatically ends. So we have 5 points of... We can bring in 1 reinforcement stormtrooper, and we're going to deploy him here, which brings us down to 3 points. And we're going to bring in an Imperial officer, and we're going to deploy him here as well. Which brings us, whoops, down to 1 point of threat. Okay, so let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actors this round. So we'll have to roll dice to see who acts when. Jane is number 6. Our Wookiee is 2nd. He's also no longer focused. The probe droid would go 4th. Stormtrooper in white is number 1. Stormtrooper in yellow is number 7. Imperial Officer 1, 3. Imperial Officer 2 is 5. Good. Okay, so the white stormtroopers go first. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, 4. Sorry, mate. He's going to attack her. Blue and green. He's going to defend with white. And he does 3 points of damage. He's just going to follow his friend. 1, 2, 3, 4. White one is going to move. 1, 2. He's going to attack her. And does 3 points of damage. So she is now wounded. So we turn over her character sheet. And she now has less endurance and I think less speed. Yeah. And she has less abilities. Well, I should maybe have used her abilities more, but I didn't. So she goes back to (20) health. So that's them. Number 2, she's 6, isn't she? Number 2 is the Wookiee. The Wookiee is going to attack this terminal again. and he does 4 points of damage. It negates 2. So that's 5 in total. And he's going to do this again. And he does 1 point of damage. It's not good. It's really not good. So he was 2, then 3 is this Imperial officer. He's really just going to stand there. He's probably going to move here. 1, 2, so that he's in the way. 4 is the probe droid. 1, 2, 3. He's just going to sit there. 5 is this Imperial officer. He's going to move here to kind of block line of sight to this thing and kind of block the way. Next up is Jin Odin, who's going to try and destroy this terminal. And she completely and utterly fails. So she's going to do this again. Now that's better. 4 points of damage, minus 2. This one is destroyed. So we have 2 more to go. We have no chance, really. That was her first activation. So last go the yellow stormtroopers. This one's going to move here, 1, 2, and he's going to shoot at her. Blue and green against white. And she negates his attack. Really, that's really brilliant. He's going to attack her. And she negates 1 lightning bolt and 1 attack. So she takes 2 points of damage. But of course she's completely replenished. So 3. It's good. And this one is going to move here. And he's going to attack her, blue and she completely negates his attack. So good. Now I have to consult my rules. I think you can actually move through other people. See page 8. Okay, a figure can move into a space occupied by a hostile figure, but must spend 1 additional movement point to do so. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4. And she's going to attack this guy. And he's going to defend with white. He negates 1 of her. So she does 3 points of damage. Place. So that's the end of this round. So everyone refreshes. Round 5. I'm going to bring back 1 Imperial officer for 3 points. Let's see when Jane gets to go. Jane goes first. Woohoo! And Garchan goes, no, that doesn't exist. 4th. The probe goes in 5th place. Stormtroopers white go in 6th place. Stormtroopers yellow go in 3rd place. Imperial officer 1 in 6th place, that's already taken, so he's going to go 2nd, and then the other one is going to go 7th. Very good. Okay, so she's going to go first. She has 1 endurance left, which she's going to use, and then she's going to attack this terminal. And she rolls 3 attack and 1 pierce. It's got 2 defense because it's standing next to one of these ones, so it takes 2 damage. I'm just going to do this again. And this time for 4 points of damage, which increases the damage by 2. And that's her first activation. Next up is the Imperial officer number 1. That's this one. He's going to move 1, 2. This is impassable, so this is a red line. He can't see through it, so he's now going to move next to her and he's going to attack her green and blue. And she's going to defend... No, sorry, yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. What am I saying? And she's going to defend with a white die. And she negates his whole attack. Woohoo! So he's done. Next up is Stormtrooper yellow. Stormtrooper yellows are going to move. 1, 2, 3. He's going to attack blue and green. And she's going to defend with a white die. And he rolls 1 hit and 1 lightning bolt, and she negates them both. Next one is going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this one's going to move first. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to attack her. And she negates his whole attack. Woohoo! Last one, 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't have any line of sight to her, so he might just as well hang back and give these guys a chance to move in here. Okay, so that was the yellow stormtroopers. In 4th position is the Wookiee. He's going to hit this thing with a red and a yellow die. It has defense 2. And he rolls 4 points of damage. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4, that's 6. 1 more. And 2 attacks plus 1. Yeah, that's fine. This one is destroyed. Woohoo! That was his first activation. 5th place is the droid. Who did these belong to? One of the... well, who cares? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, it's going to just stay here. The white stormtroopers are going to move. 1, 2, 3. He's going to attack Jane. No, actually he's going to attack the Wookiee because... yeah. He actually doesn't have any line of sight to the Wookiee, does he? Oh, he does. He could take this and then... yeah. Okay, so blue and green against black. 2 points of damage. You're just going to move up. And that's the Imperial forces. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to attack. This is only defense 1 because it's not next to any of the Imperial forces. Oh God, I rolled so badly. 1 point of damage. The Wookiee is next. 1, 2, 3. Yellow and red. He only has the one attack. And he does... It has 1 defense, which we pierce through, so he does 2 points of damage. Whoopsie. So let's see. Now we have one more round. Round 6. We get to threat. Round 6. Everyone refreshes. We have 3. And we can't do anything because we have nothing we could deploy, because the web engineer is... 6. Okay, let's see who gets to go when. We've got 7 players. Let's see. Jane Odin. She gets to go in 4th place. The Wookiee gets to go in... I have to re-roll this. In 10th place. 1st place. Woohoo! Probe Droid is 5th. Stormtrooper is gets to go 2nd. Stormtrooper Yellow gets to go, let's just say he gets to go 3rd, and then the Imperial Officer gets to go 6th, and the Imperial Officer 2 gets to go 7th. Okay. The Wookiee is going to hit this thing. And he does, 2 points of damage. 3, 4, 5. Remember, it's got 7 health points. And he does it again. He rolls 2 damage, 3 damage, and 2 lightning bolts. So he's going to do pierce 1. So he does 3 points of damage. This thing is destroyed. I wouldn't have thought that this was possible, but we've managed to win. It's a tough game. People have said that it's quite imbalanced in favor of the Imperial forces. I wouldn't call it imbalanced, but you have to be on the ball. If the Wookiee, he's got 5 points left. If I'd lost those 5 points, if I hadn't been able to eliminate the web engineer, the Wookiee would have also been wounded, and that would have lost me the game. So I really like that. I'm really enjoying this game. So essentially what now happens is we would have the end of mission, and then we would start with the Empire drawing agenda cards. As far as I can tell, that's what they're called. And then we would continue to play through maybe side missions or main missions. But I have to say that I really, really enjoy this game. What I need to do is I need to get markers that allow me to, I guess I need markers up to 10 that I can draw to ensure that I have enough to mark the turn order. If you were to play by the rules and with a... If you were to play by the rules and with 2 players, so 1 person playing the Empire, you would alternate good guys, bad guys, which is understandable because you have a human brain that doesn't know what the other human brain is thinking. Of course, I'm not that schizophrenic, so I can't pretend that I am 2 people. So the way I kind of mitigate the problem that this brings is that I simply say, you know what, if you play on your own against yourself, you want to jumble up the order in which people take actions. And as you can see, this was very important. If the Wookiee hadn't gone first, but maybe he would have gone first, or they would have gone first, they could have maybe even killed him or wounded him so much that we would have lost the game. So that's something that you know, is something that needs to be considered. And this gives me the element of the unknown that makes it possible for me to play this game against myself. In general, I have to say that I painted several of the minis, and it was great fun. I think the minis are as good quality as I had hoped they would be, and as everybody had said they would be. So I'm very, very happy with those. The components are top-notch. I've already found an error in the setup of the mission, because they ask you to use a particular tile, and then when you actually try to use that tile, you realize the tile doesn't even work with this mission because it doesn't even fit. But I think that's just a minor point. I was able to set it up after all, and I think that's all that counts. I'm enjoying this immensely. Like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan person, but I think since I love the descent mechanism, I think the way they have implemented this is really brilliant. It gives me a lot of fun to play this game this way, and I think they did a really good job making a game that is that uses the mechanics of descent and puts it into a completely different universe. And I think that's a really, really interesting approach, and I understand why this game is really, really popular, and I can recommend it to those people who may be wondering, excuse me, if they need to play Descent, because they already have a lot of dungeon crawlers, and some of which, in my opinion, are probably even better than Descent itself, because they have a better AI. I look at you, Dungeon Saga. I saw a playthrough the other day on Geek Gamers, and I didn't realize that it had such a I hadn't really known anything about this game at all, but it has a very, very interesting AI anyway. So I honestly think if you've got Dungeon Saga, I'm not sure what Descent would give you, unless of course you wanted to play opposed, because of course that's what Descent does. It lets you play against someone else, and if this is your thing, then of course, you know, Descent is probably second to none. But if you like co-op games or solo games, and you have Dungeon Saga and maybe also one of the D&D games, you don't really need Descent as well. But if you would like something like a dungeon crawl, but with a science fiction theme, then I think you should definitely check out this game. And if you like painting minis, you should check out the game as well, because the minis are really, really lovely. And here's another shout out to another channel, and that's Sorastro's painting channel. He's painted every single mini there is for this game, and his channel features his paint work, and it's really great. And not only does he paint, he's a true polymath. He also makes his own music, and the music is used in his painting videos. And I'm just always in awe of people who are so versatile, because I'm not. I am a no-trick pony when it comes to artsy stuff, so I'm a big hack, and I really admire it when people are so good at what they do and are so versatile. So I can really recommend his channel if you want to get some pointers not only on what these miniatures should look like when they're fully painted, but also on how to get really good painting results. Now, I was following his instructions, and I got fairly good results, given my inability to paint. I'm very happy. If you think that the painting jobs aren't good, that's my version of his painting style, and not to be confused with his inability to produce excellent results, because he really does. It's just that I'm not a very good painter. And that's all from me for today, and there will be more Imperial Assault on the way. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.